You're listening to Strange by Nature, your guide to the strange, weird, unbelievable, and improbable wonders of the natural world.
Hello, everyone, and thanks for being here today. I'm Kirk Mona, and joining me are Rachel Gimza and Victoria Thompson. We're all naturalists who together have scoured the world for weird and wonderful wonders, just to please your mammalian brain's desire for novelty. Isn't that nice? Let's do this.
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to the show.
Hey!
Good to see you, too, as always.
Oh, it's so good to be here.
Great to be here.
It's a rainy night, and
I know it's rainy. I was outside all day.
But we're inside. We got the lights on, and we're going to record a podcast. And I have a weird one for you, which I hinted at last week.
Okay.
So last week, I don't know if you remember, I talked about the so delightful topic of matrophagy.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
How could we forget?
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I did forget. I did fully. Yeah. I looked at it today, and then I fully was like, yep, that was a thing, and moved forward.
Oh.
So, but now that you're talking about it, I'm like, oh, yeah, matrophagy.
I mean, I'm not offended, Rachel. By the time we get to the end of recording an episode, I've usually forgotten what all three of us have talked about. So
Absolutely, exactly.
They do tend to blend together after a while. That is fair. This is episode 274.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Thank you to all of our listeners for being with us for all this time. Because when we were recording episode, 6, we're like, huh?
This is fun.
Well, I wonder how far this is going to go, and it's gone a long way. So.
Pretty far.
So what have you brought us this week?
Well, so the last species I talked about on that show, where mothers make the ultimate sacrifice to feed their babies,
Literally,
is
yes.
the gruesome case of the little-known insect order Strepsiptera. Do you remember these guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they are endoparasites, and the babies are also endo and eat the mama from the inside out.
Horrifying.
Awful.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, these insects are all internal parasites. They're little known. They can infest various types of insects, including bees, wasps, grasshoppers, silverfish, cockroaches, lots of other species too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they don't really even have an agreed common name. Although they're sometimes called stylops, which is the name of one genus of them, which, it's easier to say than Strepsiptera.
Would you like to go ahead and just give them a common name? Because that's just how this works.
They are
Someone
sometimes
says
called,
it and it catches on.
They are sometimes called twisted wing insects. But doesn't
Are
exactly
their
roll off the
wings
tongue.
all twisted?
A little bit.
Okay.
They look a little, yeah. I think it's a translation of their Latin name, actually.
It doesn't really speak to the horror of their behaviors.
Maybe we'll come up with one by the end of the episode. I'm going to call them stylops for now because it's just easier to say.
Okay.
So as I talked about last week, the females have a very underdeveloped reproductive system with no genital tract. Fertilization is traumatic, quote unquote.
Oh, of course it is.
Meaning the male drills a hole in the body of the female. And fertilization and egg development take place directly in the hemolymph, that is in the female's body cavity. And then, babies eat mom from the inside out. Gross. But
just a bit.
There's even more stuff that is very weird about these insects. We're going to start with the males because they are a little more normal seeming, but still weird.
Okay.
So adult males look a little like a fly. They have a single pair of wings without much veining on them. And, most insects have 2 pairs of wings.
Right. 0, 2, or 4.
0, 2, or 4. The wings they use for flying are their hind wings. The forewings have become reduced into little stubs.
Okay.
That are used for gyroscopic info during flight. Actually, flies have these too, but it's kind of reversed. They use their front wings, and the back wings have little stabilizers.
Cool.
Yeah. Adult males cannot eat, and of course don't live very long. They have one job and one job only, and that is to find a female mate
Yeah.
and die,
Mhm.
usually
Yeah.
after no more than 5 hours.
Oh, wow.
They only live for 5 hours?
Yeah,
Or is it
That's
just the
quite
adult
short.
that lives for 5 hours?
the adult
Oh,
males.
Good question.
Okay.
Good point. Good point.
Yeah. Their antennae are specialized chemoreceptors for finding females over long distances. Pretty much their entire bodies are specialized for finding females.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
And they also have eyes that are unique in the insect world.
Okay.
Are those eyes for finding females?
Well,
Yes.
obviously.
Well, who would have thought?
Just a review as to how normal insect eyes work. Most insects and also crustaceans and millipedes have compound eyes with
Yeah.
little hexagonal cells. Each cell is called an ommatidium. Sort of acts similar to a bunch of pixels or mosaic tiles to the insect brain merges into a complete image of the world. It's not like a bunch of separate little images. You sort of see media depictions of how an insect sees, and
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
through a prism, but that's not actually what it's like.
Yeah,
No,
I was
no, no.
actually
As far as
talking
we
about
know.
this with kids today because I was teaching about insects, and
Yeah.
we got to the point about compound eyes, and the kids were all like, "Yeah, so do they see multiple pictures?" And I'm like, "Well, do you have a lens in each eye? Do you see one picture or do you see two?" And they're all like, "We see one." And then one second grader got really pedantic. He's like, "Well, it's two pictures but merged into one in my brain." I'm like, "So you see one
Perfect.
picture, but yes, you are
Exactly.
technically correct."
Which is the best kind of correct.
Absolutely. So, yeah, it's just you see one picture. The insect probably also sees one picture.
Yeah.
We don't
We
actually
can't ask
know.
them.
No.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, compound eyes, they're kind of a flawed design in a lot of ways. They're not so good at image resolution. So things tend to look pretty fuzzy. Like they can't, we can change the aperture of our eye to focus on things closer or farther away. They cannot do that. They have to be at the right distance.
Right.
But they
Sort of
do
a fixed
have,
focal length, basically.
yeah, fixed focal length.
Got it.
They have a very wide vision angle, so they can. A lot of insects can basically see in 360 degrees, which is why it is so hard to swat a fly. And they are great at detecting movement. Mm-hmm. Also, why it's so hard to swat a fly.
Yeah.
Also, interestingly, they also produce an image that's right side up. Unlike our eyes, which produce an upside down image that our brain then converts to a right side up image.
Huh.
Okay, so male stylops do not have insect compound eyes. They have an eye that we think is similar to what was found in some species of extinct trilobites.
What?
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
What?
So they are compound in the sense that it's a cluster of different things. They have eyelets. That's what they're called, apparently. Maybe a few dozen that are clustered together to give more of a blackberry-like appearance to the eye. So it's like
Okay.
bumpy. So,
Okay.
if you look at an insect eye, like a dragonfly or a fly eye, it's got a smooth surface, even though you can see the individual hexagonal cells.
Sure.
Or not cells, but ommatidia. These are more like actually blackberry-like bumpy. And each eyelid is quite
Weird.
large compared to an ommatidium from a compound insect eye. Each eyelet also seems to be I'm quoting here, independent image-forming eye that contributes an inverted partial image. So
What?
What?
yeah, each one creates like its own upside down image
Uh-huh.
that are then presumably combined in the insect's brain to form a full picture.
Okay.
And that
But-
picture is right side up.
Yeah.
Right. So this eye appears to combine features of compound and single lens eyes. That's pretty.
Huh.
Interesting. Yeah.
That's wild.
Yes. Okay. What else about these wacky animals? Other than adult males, The only stage of this insect's life cycle that is mobile is the first instar larva. That's the one that eats its way out of the mom.
I forgot they're endoparasites. Okay,
Yeah.
We got
need to be
so
all that
interested
mobile.
in their eyes, we forgot about the parasitism.
What are they looking at in there too? That's
Don't worry about it. They gotta figure out where to go. They're looking for the light.
Okay, so these first instar larvae have eggs. They have legs and also bristle-like appendages in the back that they can use to jump onto an insect, presumably.
Oh.
And their underside is covered with fine hairs that make them stick to wet surfaces using capillary action, which is kind of fascinating.
very cool.
Once they find a host, they can cling on, and then they secrete enzymes that weaken the cuticle of the host insect to make a weak spot where it can enter the body. And then it induces the host to form a sort of cyst around it, which protects it from the host immune system.
That's fascinating. Like I'm going to hijack you into making something to make it so that you can't tell I'm here.
Yeah, it's sort of like a plant gall in some ways.
Yeah,
That's exactly
I
what I
was
was
just
thinking
thinking
of,
about, or like a burl.
Yes. So once this first instar enters the host body and it develops into the next instar, it becomes immobile and stays that way for the rest of its life unless it's male, in which case it emerges as an adult and goes off to fly to find a female.
Okay. So they are using their eyes outside
They are,
of the...
yes.
Yeah, okay.
Female adults are also immobile and lack legs, eyes, wings, or antennae.
What?
Okay.
They basically
What are they-
look like a larva or a pupa.
Yeah, I was like, so...
Their front end consists of a fused cephalothorax, which is the only
So
part
they don't
of it
even
that-
have 3 body parts. Oh my god.
No. And their cephalothorax peeks out between the segments of the host's abdomen.
No.
Yes.
Oh
No. That's like a chest burster who won't leave.
Yeah.
Oh no, this is literally the scene from Alien.
Except that it just hangs out there.
It just
Yep.
hangs out there. You know,
That's
I
the
wasn't
worst
able
form
to
of peekaboo.
I wasn't able to find that much information on how the host gets affected, although they usually do become sterile, the hosts.
That's the common name. The peekaboo something. Like the
There you go. I'm glad I could get
peekaboo.
The peekaboo
what was-
parasite.
the
Are they, is it
peekaboo.
I think
twisted
that
wing
would
or
be
something? The peekaboo twist wing or
Ooh,
Yeah.
that would be
There
fun.
we go.
Peekaboo twisting. Awful.
Yeah.
I
When
love
the
it.
female is ready to mate, she releases pheromones that the males
there
can
you
then
go. Okay.
detect. And then he will fly to the little part of her cephalothorax that's sticking out of the host body and
See where this is coming.
do his thing. That is traumatic insemination.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gross.
And
Just
then the
make
cycle
your own hole.
starts all over again. Ugh.
What a lovely, lovely little creature you brought us.
Yeah. And of course, the larvae have to leave also. They exit by the same hole
Right.
that the sperm came in.
Well, at least they leave the way that they came in.
Yep.
That's polite.
I support that, yeah.
So in the larvae, they exit because the mom is in another like wasp or other insect, right?
Yes.
So when they leave mom, do they go into this other insect or do they go find their own?
Find their
Insect.
own.
I think they find their own. It's pretty rare
Well,
for one
depend if they're a
insect
male or a female, I
to have
suppose.
Okay.
more than one.
Okay.
Well, the larvae that are leaving all need to go into an insect, whether they're male or female. But if they're male, they go through the development stages and then they emerge to go find a
Oh,
mate.
right.
Okay.
Oh, fascinating. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Golly gee.
That's what I got.
What a wild tale.
So tasty.
I did tell the kids that I was teaching insects about today. We went through the different how do you know what an insect is by looking at something? Like generally what do all insects have? And then I also told them, now nature laughs at our little boxes.
Yes, there it
So
is.
true.
So there's exceptions to every rule, but in
Exactly.
general. And we found our exception right here.
Sure did. Well,
Indeed.
after the break, I have a story of an exception as well.
Ooh, oh, God.
Great. I just have to give my sources for the week.
Please do.
I got some good information from Wikipedia. There was a helpful article on compound eyes from the Ask Entomologists website. Trilobites.info had information about trilobite eyes. And there was an article, which I quoted briefly, from The Unusual Visual System of the Strepsiptera, External Eye, and Neuropils from the Journal of Comparative Physiology from July 2003.
Okay. Cool. Thanks, Victoria.
Yeah, we're going to take a short break, and then when we come back, Kirk will also have an exception.
Hey everyone, we're back. I as we hinted at, I do have an exceptional animal. It is a bit of a creature feature this week from me, and it's an animal that it's probably not super strange, but it's got some cool things about it. And it's interesting in that it is an exception to the rule for this type of animal. And it's an animal species, or not species, but an animal, I guess, type or group that we as humans are pretty familiar with. It is primates.
Oh,
Okay.
sure.
I want to talk about an exceptional primate.
Ooh.
And the one I want to talk about is, I think, perhaps one of the strangest primates on Earth. It is the night monkey, which just has
Oh.
a great name. They're also sometimes called the owl monkey.
Okay.
And they are these small, wide-eyed primates. They're really the only truly nocturnal monkeys in the world.
Oh,
And
okay.
that's kind of just the beginning of what makes them remarkable and why I am remarking on them at this very moment. So let's start off with, with that name, night monkeys.
Are they
They're
monkeys?
they are monkeys, and their scientific name, the genus is Aotis. And so this name comes from Greek, which means earless. And it's not that they actually literally lack ears. They absolutely have ears, but kind of like owls, you can't see them, right?
Okay.
So they're small. They're mostly hidden under their thick fur. And so it gives them this earless or sort of an owl kind of appearance of the big eyes and no ears.
Okay.
So that's part of where that name of also owl monkey comes from. They're also known for their extremely varied vocalizations. They produce trills and hoots and grunts and some of these owl-like sort of calls, which I think is another reason why some of the early naturalists that encountered them were like, oh, we should call this an owl monkey because they hoot, which is kind of fun too. It's actually amongst the New World monkeys, they have some of the most complex vocal repertoire, which is pretty cool. And so for a long time, when these were discovered, quite a long time ago, by science, it was thought that there was just one species of these night monkeys. But as primatologists studied their chromosomes and morphology, they realized that the genus was far more diverse.
Got it.
So today, depending on who you ask, like a lot of things, we're still working all this out. But we think there's about 11 recognized species of night monkeys that are spread across Central and South America.
Okay.
So that's actually one of the widest distributions of any New World monkey genus. So they're found in Panama, from Panama, in Central America, down through Colombia, Ecuador, Peru, Brazil, Bolivia, Paraguay, and northeastern Argentina. So quite a wide area that these are found in.
That's giant.
They, not surprisingly, live in tropical rainforests, but more specifically in like cloud forests, so up to 2,400 meters. And but they can also
Which
be found
we
in like
talked about on the show.
Yeah, but remember, because there's a number of different genuses of these, like they can also be found in dry forests, also in scrub forests, in mangrove swamps, also in primary, secondary, and remnant forests.
Oh, wow.
So quite a diverse amount of habitats where they can be found.
Yeah.
They are highly arboreal, meaning they are, up in the trees. They very rarely ever come to the ground. And, because they're up there in the trees and very agile, they can collect fruit, nectar, leaves, insects. They have a fairly varied diet of what they're going to eat.
Good.
So one of the things that's interesting about them and the fact that we're talking about them is that they're night monkeys. And most monkeys are diurnal. They're awake during the day.
Yeah.
And so
like
being
us.
awake at night, like us, although sometimes we are night owls. But, these monkeys, they are, nocturnal, and they're the other monkeys can be awake at night, but they're really the only monkeys that are fully adapted to be this nocturnal lifestyle.
Okay.
And that does give them certain advantages. So if you think about it, there's reduced competition. They do compete with other primates for food. So by shifting their activity to nighttime, they're going to avoid competition for those same foods I just mentioned.
Yeah.
Second,
all the other animals are sleeping.
Exactly. Or all the other primates who they're competing with. Yeah. They also have reduced predation pressure, which is a pretty big deal. Like I said, they're not that big. They maybe weigh about a kilo, maybe a kilo and a half.
Okay.
A couple pounds. They're not big at all. And one of their predators is raptors.
Oh, okay.
So, and a lot of those raptors rely on daylight vision. So being at night helps them to be harder to spot. And there's also, and this one I was like, I didn't think about this. There's a thermal benefit to being nocturnal. In tropical rainforests, nighttime temperatures are cooler. So we think that this may also help them reduce their energy expenditure. They don't need to gather as much food and eat as much food because they're not having to thermoregulate as much during those hot parts of the day. They're out when it's cooler, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Duh.
And, so there's big advantages to being nocturnal. And it has really shaped every aspect of their biology. But the really big one is their vision. I mean, they have those big, huge eyes. And if some of you have maybe seen a photo of a night monkey, if you haven't, you can, of course, subscribe to our newsletter, which you will get, which will have a picture of a night monkey in there, I'm sure.
Yes, it will.
Rachel will add one. Also, we'll put it on social media. But one of the things you'll notice when you look at them is they have these huge, huge round eyes. They are proportionally amongst the largest of any primate. The first time I ever kind of realized this was one of the nature centers I used to work at. We had quite a diverse collection of specimens, things with these big cabinets full of preserved animals and animal parts and things that we use for teaching, and some things that we would clearly never use for teaching. You're like, how did we even get this? One of the things we had was a night monkey skull.
Oh.
What?
I have no idea why or how we got it. Way predated me being there. But the eye sockets to the size of the brain was just like, what on earth? It's completely bizarre looking. And one of the other really cool things is not just big eyes, and this may not be surprising to you guys because you know a lot about animals and stuff, but they have almost completely monochromatic vision. They cannot see color.
That makes sense.
Which first you might be like, why? And you're like, makes sense. For those of you who don't know why, you have rods and cones in your eyes. And if you give up some of your color vision, I believe it's the rods that see black and white, they're much more sensitive to light than the cones are. So if you kind of give up your cones and you give up your color vision and you have more rods, you have much better night vision. So they have very excellent vision. It's just they don't see anything in color. And so also, animals that have monochromatic vision tend to have a better ability to detect contrast in especially dim light. So it's really it's going to keep them safe and also help them find food and just be able to navigate and be around at night. How hard it is to stumble around at night. As with our eyes, it's not great.
I'd trip
One
over
of the things I thought was
things in broad daylight, Kirk.
Yeah. One thing I thought was really cool is if you've ever seen animals that are nocturnal, often if you shine a flashlight at them, even some animals that aren't nocturnal, they have this weird eye glow that reflects back at night. That's from something called the tapetum lucidium. And it's like a reflective layer. It's often found in a lot of cats as well. You tend to think of it. And that helps in some ways sort of like you see in the dark. But what's weird is they don't have that. They don't have any of that eye shine. because they lack that structure in their eye, just like we do.
Right.
And they're really just relying on their big, huge eyes and their monochromatic vision in order to see at night, which is different than other nocturnal animals. So I thought that was pretty cool. Now, one of the things that may surprise people about them has to do with their parental care as well. They really just raise one infant per year.
Okay.
So it's just one little baby. Gestation is like 122 to 153 days. And mama like gives birth to this little monkey, and is like the moment that she has weaned the young one, it is passed straight to dad, and she does not partake in the care whatsoever after that. And our dad, like they like cling on to dad's, fur and hang out with him, and he is completely in charge of all the child care until they're old enough to take care of themselves. And people are like, yeah, I think we're like, that's different.
Love it.
And it's there definitely are, cases of males helping a lot with child rearing, especially for example in humans. A lot of primates, it's a lot of work to take care of a young primate, so often there's like a division of labor on that. And people are like, why is dad the one who kind of takes over? And I think some of the speculation is that mom needs some time to recover. I'm sure any mom listening can very much relate to that. She needs a break. But also I think there's some thought that maybe it's a dangerous world out there, and dad is better prepared to actually defend the baby if it's extremely close to him. And so he's like basically protecting it once it doesn't need the milk anymore. Yeah. So that's pretty interesting.
Do they mate for life, Kirk?
They do, yeah.
They do?
They mate for life.
Because my other thought was if then she would be available to potentially have another baby.
Yes.
Sooner, but
yeah.
I mean, if
I
she's
think that's
able to
probably
recover
part of
faster,
the resting
then,
up. It's like, now they do only do a mate once a year,
right?
So it's if they're not jumping right into it again, but pretty interesting. Sadly, not all of the night monkeys are doing really great. There's a number of things that are affecting them. A lot of them are things you might suspect. Habitat loss, obviously, big one. The illegal pet trade. They're cute little monkeys. People want
too
to
cute
have
for
them.
their own good.
Exactly. Humans are completely drawn to like little things with big eyes. Like that's just it's in our genes. We can't avoid it. They are sometimes hunted for bushmeat, so that is a pressure on them. And there is one though that is probably pretty surprising. One big pressure on them, and that is biomedical research.
What?
Oh.
Yeah. Unfortunately, for at least some of these species of night monkeys, they are one of the few primates that is susceptible to Plasmodium falciparum, which is the parasite that causes malaria. Yes. And because of this, they've been used a lot for malaria research. Actually, the UN recommended this was the recommended species to use to test malaria vaccines and research and whatnot, because they're like, this is great. We have a primate that's also, susceptible. Turns out a lot of them were used, and that really hurt their population. And so that's not ideal. It kind of does vary by species to species, though. Like the Peruvian night monkey is considered endangered at this point. Some are considered vulnerable, and there's some that are, at that least concern level, because there's a lot of them out there. Yeah. So they're very, very cool, and they're a cool example of how evolution can take a familiar animal to us, in this case like a monkey, and just kind of reshape it into a different form, something that is different than all the other ones, which I think is really cool. They are so specially adapted to where they live and how they live and when they live, I guess, in terms of the time of day. And they have all these really cool things that make them just really neat animals. And I've wanted to talk about them for a while. I know they're not super, super strange, but they are definitely, when it comes to primates, different than every other one in their own unique way. And that makes them kind of strange.
Definitely.
That's so cool. And cute.
It's adorable. Well, also, you have to remember, Kirk, our threshold for strange is much higher than most people's.
That's true.
Yes.
That is true.
Mm-hmm.
Some people probably think they're weirder than we do.
Mm-hmm.
You talked about a moose on one episode, so I think I'm allowed to talk about night monkeys.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right. Well, we're gonna take a break, and when we come back, we will have Rachel. This week's episode is brought to you by the Society of Strange. That's what we call our patrons over at patreon.com/strangebynature. Society members directly support the show they love, and depending on their level of support, get fun perks such as bonus content on select shows, insider photos, water bottle stickers, and here's a big one, every level of support gets every episode 100% ad-free. Come join the other lovers of the show, help keep this strange show going, and get those ad-free episodes. We'll see you all over at patreon.com/strangebynature.
All right. Welcome back to the show, everyone. So I'm going to get us started with a little bit of a throwback to naturalists that we have talked about on the show at least once, but I think we've talked about him a couple times. So after a very eventful trip with a friend, the friend was Henry Walter Bates, to the Amazon, where not only did this naturalist get a fever and have to go home early, but his ship and the collection he was with, I should mention that this is like...
This is sounding familiar already.
This is already familiar, and this was in like 1850s. This was not like 2 years ago, okay?
No.
Yeah, I kind of got the sense that this was
one of the gentleman
a while
naturalists.
ago. Yes.
So not only did he have that fever and have to go home early, and again, this was like not 2 years ago. This is the 1850s. Should feel familiar because the not only did that ship that he was in and the collection he brought from the Amazon, they were burned at sea.
Ooh.
Ugh.
Yeah, it was not a good first trip, honestly.
No.
Our naturalist, Alfred Wallace, after recovering and writing,
Wallace.
went out to go and explore a bit more.
Oh, just a bit, yeah.
Just a little.
bit.
Just a smidge. So one of the places that he went to was called the Malay Archipelago.
Yeah.
This is in modern Indonesia. There are his writings on the subject and everything are still available out there. And in that time, he found he discovered, I say with heavy air quotes. He ended up traveling 14,000 miles, but he discovered 8,050 birds, 310 mammals, 100 reptiles, 13,000 insects.
13,000 insects?
Oh, other insects. I'm sorry. He collected in this trip, he collected 125,660 specimens.
He's a busy guy.
Gosh.
83,200 of those were beetles.
Oh.
13,100 were butterflies and moths. And then
Now these are
yeah.
There's more than one individual of each species, or are these each separate species?
They're of specimens. So
okay,
I
so it's
think
probably more than
multiple
one of each
more
species.
than one of
Okay.
each species, yeah.
Still.
And then
There's a
the
reason he's one of the guys who came up with
13,400
the theory
is
of
other
evolution.
species of insects. So the insects that aren't beetles and butterflies and moths. So
Were there any insects
Yeah.
left by the time he took sail and went back to England?
well, probably not.
People
no,
were
there
trying
were.
to raise money
but-
to get a statue of him made for the British Museum because there's the big statue of Darwin there, and they wanted one of Wallace. And I recall seeing either the statue or like the mock-up of what it was going to look like, and he's holding a butterfly net.
Yeah.
Seems appropriate.
It
Yeah.
does. It really does.
He
He was
used
a
it a
big
lot.
entomologist, and like
Yeah.
Yeah. So our friend, Alfred Wallace, one of the places that he went in that 14,000-mile trip, was an island in the Indonesian archipelago or chain of islands called Sulawesi. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Heard of it.
Yeah.
Great. I practiced saying that correctly, so I was very proud of myself. And on that island, this island is pretty wild on its own, just because it has some really interesting geography. It has some active volcanoes. It also has some volcanic beaches, so it has volcanic beach sands on it. So it has really high, like, mountains and things like that, and some really low spaces as well. It is one of the larger islands, and it's also really unique in shape. It's the world's 11th largest island, according to Wikipedia. And it's just a really fascinating little place, and it has a lot of history and a lot of cultural significance and a lot of deep, deep history. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
When Wallace was there, he was exploring and checking out all the different beaches, and he saw that some of the beaches, or at least a few of them, looked to be just covered in black. And the reason why he was bringing that up was due to a particular bird that was nesting on that particular beach. Okay?
Interested.
So that you would be, Kirk.
What? Birds?
A bird?
Say more.
Say more. So this particular bird that he was seeing is called a Maleo. Okay? A Maleo or Maleo. And it is, unfortunately, today critically endangered. The scientific name is Macrocephalon Maleo. And it is, thank you. And it is considered a national treasure in Sulawesi. And there's a lot of actually work with the folks who live there, a lot of grassroots to help protect this endangered bird.
Great.
But what is it? What is going on? So this bird is known for its pretty distinctive plumage. It is a black and white bird. All right. Doesn't sound super fancy or
ordinary.
anything, like pretty ordinary. Yeah. So think of, like, for Kirk, I guess, think of like a turkey's feet, but like grayish brown, with no spurs. I'm more equating this so our listeners can build this bird. Their tails and back and wings are all this deep black, and their upper collar and neck and head are also this black. And then just the breast and stomach area are this bright white patch.
Ooh, okay.
All right.
Sounds cool.
On the top of it is very dramatic. Honestly, this bird looks like a drama queen. And then on the top of its head, it actually has a prominent casque on it. So it's a big, like, bump on the top. I think we've talked about casques before. Oh man, what was it? I talked about them before. It was it was another bird that has it. Anyway,
Cassowary.
that's it.
There you go.
So
I looked up a picture of these.
Mm-hmm.
They're very cool looking.
They're very cool looking. Yeah. Now they have a bright yellow eye, and like it looks like their beak kind of goes back to the behind their eye, almost to where you would expect ears to go. The feathers are a little bit different and such. Oh, it's a really cool little bird. I say little. It's not a little bird. You were going to say something, Victoria.
Oh, just it looks sort of, I mean, it doesn't look anything like a turkey or a chicken, but it looks like maybe it's in the same
Got the
family
fanned
as them.
tail that sticks up. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. it's a good like size comparison as well, because they are anywhere from 22 to 24 inches long. So they're not huge, and they are in the order of Galliformes. So
I was right, it is related to chickens.
yeah.
Yeah.
So if you could picture a chicken with that kind of plumage, you're not that far off, okay?
Yeah,
It is,
pretty
however,
accurate.
the only one within the genus and obviously species. So this is a monotypic genus, which is really cool. So it's just this guy.
Interesting.
So it has this prominent like bony casque and like some really interesting colors around the beak. It does have 4 long, pretty sharp claws, and it does have like a little bit of a web in its feet. The males and females are pretty much the same. The females are a little smaller and a little duller, but not too much. That's pretty much where they are at. They really love being in the lowland hills or the rainforests, especially of just the island of Sulawesi. They used to be at another island, but they are not really found there
bummer.
anymore.
Okay.
But they are endemic to this one island, Sulawesi.
Okay, so Wallace found these birds.
He found these birds, and he noted about them in his journey while he was out there.
Okay.
But little did he know just how wild these little birds are. Okay?
Oh, okay.
So, first things, like overall, they don't seem like they would be super bizarre. They are pretty specific where they find or where they live, and when they are eating, they like nuts, they like fruit. Apparently, on a very different side note, there are, or not a very different, somewhat related, there are only 2 zoos in the entire world that
Really?
have these birds outside of Indonesia.
Okay.
Is the Bronx Zoo and the Nashville Zoo, and they are part of a breeding program to help with the population. And
Gotcha.
Apparently, I'll tell this story a little bit later, but they do really love peanuts, apparently, which is very, very funny.
Okay.
I just think that's very
I like peanuts too,
interesting.
but-
I also like peanuts, but there's a fun story with it. Anyway, so you can subscribe to our Patreon if you want to hear more about that. However, so overall, they're not that weird when it comes to a galliform. However,
Sure. Yeah, yeah.
they do have volcanic soil. And one thing the Maleo does is what is one thing that especially chickens are known to do? What do they do?
Scratch at the ground.
Yes. And what do we use them for?
Oh, food.
Eggs.
Eggs.
Eggs, yeah.
And they are known to lay on those eggs. These birds do not incubate their eggs with their own body
Really?
heat.
Oh.
How do they do it?
So what they do is, first of all, their eggs are 5 times the size of a chicken egg, which is
Sizely.
that is a
Real
big that's a big
Yeah.
egg. And they nest all like year round. They will continue to lay eggs all year round. So the female will lay more than one egg. Over the course of a year, she can lay anywhere between 8 and 10 or 8 and 12 eggs, which is so many. So
I mean,
what
not
they
compared
will
to a chicken, but
not compared to a chicken, but when it's 5 times the size of an egg of
Sure.
a chicken egg.
It's a lot of work.
take some
Yeah.
resources.
So
Yeah.
what they do is the male, and they are a pair. They stick together. The female will indicate that she is ready. And they will go and dig a really deep hole in
Oh, there you go.
those volcanic sands I mentioned.
Uh-huh.
They'll dig a deep hole, and then they lay the egg inside, bury the egg in the sand,
Huh.
and then camouflage that hole. And then once they do that and it's camouflaged, they've laid the egg, the parents leave and never return.
Oh,
How very reptilian
Whoa.
of them.
yeah.
So
Isn't that fascinating?
they are literally using geothermal heat to incubate their eggs because of where they are, and the sand that is on that island. They are able to use that heat to keep their eggs warm, and they don't have to sit and work on sit or take care of this egg, which is
That's
really
so cool.
really cool.
So cool.
Are there any other bird species that don't incubate their eggs themselves?
I don't know.
I mean,
of any.
cowbirds.
Okay,
Well,
but it's
but
still being
some-
incubated by
yeah,
a bird.
Yes. I don't know. I got more fascinated by the geothermal heat aspect of it.
Sure,
The
fair
other
enough.
piece is that these eggs, when they are underneath the sand and everything, the chicks hatch under the sand. They don't. They break up and they
That
are
is so
surrounded by sand.
reptilian, like Victoria said.
Yeah, so when they lay the egg, the chick is almost fully formed. So it is not.
When they
it is
lay the
not
egg,
like-
the chick is almost fully
When
formed.
they lay the
Yeah, when they lay the egg, the Maleo that is inside of that egg is almost pretty fully formed. It's not quite there.
What?
Yeah.
So the female's
Then
like
they-
retaining the egg inside of her for
Right.
for
So
a
like you're
decent
fertile-
for a time, and then
Oh.
they deposit the egg in the sand. That chick then has to crawl out of the sand, and they are self-sufficient after a couple hours. Like they can within
Wow.
hours they are able to fly. They are able to feed themselves, protect themselves. All of that just by themselves.
That is outstanding.
Yeah. It
So
is
cool.
a wild little bird, and I part of the way that we know about it is because of Wallace, but also they're just so cool. I thought it was fascinating. I'm like, I'm sorry. This little bird is self-sufficient. They don't incubate their eggs. What's going on? And I need to just share it with all of you today. So
Very
once
cool.
again, another exception to the rule,
Yep.
the Maleo bird.
yeah.
What an exceptional
Wow.
episode.
Oh, man.
I will
look
say,
at go.
if people want to hear more about Wallace, they can also listen to episode 40, which was called "Does This Bird Smell Like Maple Syrup to You?" And that's where Victoria
Goldfinches,
talked
right?
about Wallace's line,
Yes.
which is right
that's
down in
right.
the same part of the world.
My sources this week, I got some good information about Wallace and everything from Wikipedia, as well as some other information about the Maleo bird. Simply Birding also had a really great article about the Maleo bird, as well as the Alliance for Tompakia Conservation. Alto is also what it is called, and they are working pretty closely with the folks on the island, so that way they keep it and it doesn't, because it is critically endangered. So they want to make sure that this bird keeps. Yeah, so that is what I have for you all this week. I will make sure to post a picture of the bird and the bird's egg, because I just saw a picture of the bird's egg and of the Maleo egg, and it is like the size of the palm of your hand. Like, it is a very large
Wow.
egg. So that is, I believe, it though for our episode.
That's it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Very cool.
Cool. So we will see you all next week, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks everyone for listening to today's show. Be sure to subscribe. New episodes drop every Wednesday, and we love sharing this strange world with all our listeners. If you would be so kind as to leave us a 5-star rating and review wherever you get your podcasts, that would be great. It lets other lovers of the strange discover the show. You can reach us by searching for Strange by Nature Podcast on Instagram, Facebook, and Blue Sky. You can send us an email as well. Our address is contact@strangebynaturepodcast.com. If you want more information about the show, you can check out our website, strangebynaturepodcast.com, and you can support the show and get ad-free episodes at patreon.com/strangebynature. Until next week, get outside, stay curious, and embrace the strange.